The Leafs' backup goalie situation might be the most talked about one in the history of time. Is this a real problem, or is this a Toronto Leafs media manufactured thing, do you think?
No, this is a real problem because, you're giving away points that you need. This isn't the last 2 seasons where Boston, Tampa, and Toronto knew they were in the playoffs in January. This is going to be a race. This is Buffalo. I know they struggled recently, but I think they're better. Montreal looks better. I think that you're sitting here right now, and there's no guarantee you're making the playoffs like there was the last couple of seasons. So you're giving away points, and I absolutely think it's something that they have to look to correct. Now, I think with Kaskisuo getting called up, I think they're going to give him. Again, this could change with one phone call, but my sense is he's going to get a shot on Saturday night against Pittsburgh. They want to see what this guy can do. The amazing thing about this, guys, is a year ago, I don't know anybody who thought that this guy was going to be, that Kaskisuo was going to be in NHL, had a chance to play in the NHL. But the thing that changed people's opinions is last year in the playoffs, he was very good. Of all AHL goalies who played at least 10 games, he was #1 in goals against and save percentage, and he's been improved this year. Now, you could say that Toronto's got a good team. I think the fact is that he's been better, and now at least the people who've seen him say he's got a shot. He deserves a look. How long that look is going to be, how effective it's going to be, I can't answer that. But it is a real legitimate problem, and nobody's making too much of it.
I got to ask you about the Sidney Crosby stuff that we were just talking about before the break, and wondering if you know anything about the idea of surgery for a sports hernia as reported in The Athletic or suggested in The Athletic, and what's the latest on that, and could they survive without him?
Well, they have a day off today. They played the Rangers last night. They have a day off today, so we're not expecting any updates today, which means we'll see what happens when they get back on the ice tomorrow. I think the story is 100% legitimate. Like, I think when Rob Rossi is really well connected to the Penguins, goes with that. He knows what he's talking about. And I think the Penguins are facing a decision in terms of, do they do this now? Do they wait? Like, to me, you do it now. If you think Sidney Crosby is going to have surgery and he needs it, and there's no like, the worst case scenario for the Penguins at a time when they say, as long as we have Crosby and we have Malkin, we're going for it every year. The worst case scenario to me is you put it off, you try like an alternate therapy, and you put it off and you find out it doesn't work, and all of a sudden you have to take your surgery later. To me, you do it now. You've still got Malkin. You've got a team that's shown like a lot of guts this year. They've played really hard. They've been really banged up. Crosby has been MVP level, and that's a worry, but I think you take your chances with what you got. Now, the concern that some people said to me is, I think the story put the recovery somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks. The concern is that it could take longer because it's such a difficult surgery. But that's the risk you take, and that's why if I'm the Penguins and it's my choice, I'm doing it now as opposed to waiting till later.
We're talking Crosby. Him and Nathan MacKinnon obviously have a pretty tight relationship. 4-point night last night without Landeskog, without Rantanen. If I asked him earlier, Friedge, if you're ranking top 5 skaters on earth right now, like, where's MacKinnon on that list?
Oh, he's in your list. He's on your list, right?
I was saying he might be 2.
Well, who are you guys putting at 1?
I put McDavid at 1.
Okay, you're putting McDavid at 1. I can't argue with that. That's a good pick.
You're expecting less of us, eh? Did you see how surprised? Well, I guess I can't argue with that.
One of you just put their mouth all over the world. Like, what is there to expect, really?
Fair enough.
Another valid point from Elliotte Friedman.
Fair point.
3 of 31.
No, I think there's nothing wrong with McDavid as MacKinnon is number 2. And hey, it's easy to be a great player when you're loaded with your best lineup around you. It's harder to do the job, and it's not like playing with Calvert and Donskoy. Like, he's got 2 bags of pucks or two loaves of bread next to him. He's got two good players, but you elevate in the moments where your team needs you, and right now McKinnon's doing that. Who's also been dynamite is the guy who could win the Calder on the blue line.
Cale Makar has been unbelievable.
He was embarrassing dudes last night.
He has the same amount of points as Mitch Marner, 18 and 18.
Is that good?
And they're making nearly the same amount this year. Yeah. Nearly the same.
What's your best guess on what happens with Ilya Kovalchuk and the Kings?
It sounds to me like there's a big wrestling match behind the scenes over what the Kings really can do and what the league. I know the league is involved. I know the Players Association is involved, and the Players Association's position is you got to protect the contract, right? And you don't want anything that is legal that sets legal precedent for what the Kings can do to Kovalchuk's contract. So, I think they're all wrestling right now with where this is going to go. I do believe, as I initially reported yesterday, that they wanted to say to Kovalchuk, either, we'd like to take you out of the lineup, and I think the plan was either you can go, or you can stay in practice, or you can stay until we pay your last bonus on December 15th, and then you can go. And I think since that kind of was presented to him between the Kings, his agent, the league, and the Players Association, they're all wrestling as to what can really happen here. So I think there's a lot of moving targets. He did practice today. He didn't take a regular shift. Todd McClellan sure made it sound like since they won last night, he's not going to play tomorrow. But I think a lot of this is really up in the air. I mean, the bottom line is he's not long for the Los Angeles Kings.
Friedge, before we let you go, we got about 90 seconds here. As Tim has talked about a lot today, this is World Kindness Day on Earth. When was the last time someone was extremely kind to you, or you were extremely kind to someone else that you are willing to share on air with us?
I don't believe in sharing kindness, things I do otherwise. I hate talking about that stuff. Like, I'm not saying I'm a super kind person in private. I'd hate to lie to people and tell them that, but
You're giving to Movember, buddy. I can see that.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't want to separate your shoulder, patting yourself on the back?
No, I don't.
Okay.
The only thing I would say is, this is a really nice initiative, and so is, for example, Bell Let's Talk Day.
Yep.
I see a lot of people out there who tweet great things on Bell Let's Talk Day, but they're awful to people on Twitter the other 364 days of the year.
Yeah.
And I just think that if you're a person who's tweeting out the hashtag on either one of these 2 days, that it doesn't give you license to be rude or worse the other days of the year.
Yeah, we read a tweet earlier. Remember when Twitter was just a lot of fun and saying hi to Shaq and hoping that he responded? Not
that
like
is
that
the greatest
anymore.
story ever. What was that? It was a Waffle House or something like that?
Something like that.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
even
awesome
remember
story.
Yeah, old school.
Elliotte
That
Friedman.
made Twitter. That made Twitter
It
that
did.
day.
Whenever Elliotte opens his mouth, great things come out. Whenever I open my mouth, it's disgusting. Elliotte Friedman.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, good luck with whatever that condition
I
is.
gotta get it
Sid.
checked
Take
out.
care,
Yeah,
guys.
There's a
Someone
clinic
needs
in
a throat swab.
clinic here. I should really just go in there. Thanks, Elliotte.